Hello everyone, welcome to Delphine into the teaching philosophy and we are Douglas, Andres and John and today we are going to talk about what means to be a bilingual educator and our teaching philosophy is shaped about the constructivism, the progressivism and the reconstructivism that are the approaches that we mentioned.
Well, I would like to mention that as pre-service teachers, we are taught that learning is more than just memorizing and just like a traditional process. Learning is more about getting students to think critically and to using their knowledge in real life situations.
Definitely. This has shaped our experiences as students and as teachers because we previously were used to grammar-based approaches, learning grammar, learning nouns, and all of that. And now in the university, we are more used to a communicative approach in which communication is the key. It doesn't matter the grammar, but to communicate the ideas and the thoughts we have.
So, where does these ideas come from? For example, the constructivism is all about learning through experiences, and Vygotsky emphasizes that the social interactions play a key role in the learning process, and that the children are building their own knowledge. And it's just not about absorbing information, but it's also that they are actively constructing it.
And also, we must consider Paulo Freire's critical pedagogy, which talks about social reconstruction. Basically, he says that we must make students think critically and help them question the world around them and to take action into a social change.
And that's very interesting. And let's not forget about John Dewey, the father of getting the student in the center of the learning process. John Dewey believed that education should allow the students to put in action what they were learning and that the student was the most important element in the educational process.
Well, now I'd like to talk about how does this look like in classroom. As an in-service teacher, I really like to provide my students with really meaningful activities. I don't just give them like a whole list of vocabulary which they have to memorize, but I use something more active. I'm really into this task-based instruction, so I give my students tasks that are aligned to their environment, to their real lives. So imagine my students like learning English and practicing it, like using a real life situation, like ordering food in a restaurant. So we create the whole context. We create a restaurant. We bring actual food to the classroom, and I provide the students with the need to to interact with their classmates, to communicate with them. So it's way more effective than just repeating words from a textbook.
We also make sure to bring the students' cultures into the practicum. Language learning becomes more powerful when it connects to their identity. One activity we love is having the students bring a song they like or identify with and analyze its lyrics in English. To illustrate, in my personal practicum, children enjoyed music a lot. We played songs, they sang along with me, and it was a fun and engaging activity for them. And it was proven to be really worth at the moment of learning. Also, it builds language skills while also encouraging cultural appreciation.
And beyond just engagement, we make learning meaningful by incorporating the real world issues into our lessons. And when the students discuss topics like the environmental sustainability, the diversity, or the social justice, these topics encourage the students to think critically and see the language as more than just a tool for communication, but more like a way to express their ideas, advocate for the change, or maybe connect with the world. And we have a little question about our listeners, and it is, how do you see your role as a teacher? Are you a guide, a facilitator, or just a transmitter of knowledge?
A curriculum is not just a list of topics. It should be a flexible guide that adapts to students' needs. As constructivist educators, we believe in making learning inquiry based, where students explore topics that interest them. That means that they construct their learning through the interaction with the resources, with their mates, with the teacher, and so on, rather than just receiving information from the teacher as if they were books to be filled with text and information.
And something that I want to highlight is that I notice in my practice in a public school that many students face real challenges in their lives. And we as a teacher, we can't ignore that because it's important to listen, support them, and create opportunities for meaningful discussions, since even the small efforts can make a difference in their lives and they will feel that we really care about them. And that's why we are big on project-based learning, because instead of following a rigid syllabus, we want to encourage the students to research about the real world issues and present their findings in English in a project-based. And it's much more engaging and impactful way to learn than the traditional methodologies.
Actually, in a bilingual education, the curriculum is not just about learning a language. It's more about it. It's about using, like getting to use that language and to connect the students with others and understand others' uh, way of viewing the world. That's why we like to incorporate discussions about culture, about real life situation, issues, problems, or even we just talk about the students' interests into our lessons, so we can get students to be more attentive to the lessons and to really use their knowledge and construct their own knowledge, which will be more meaningful for them.
Wrap things up, our teaching philosophy is grounded in the constructivism, the social reconstruction, and the progressivism. And we're all about creating classrooms where students don't just learn English, but they also learn how to think critically, communicate confidently, and engage with the real world around them.
Exactly. That's how our teaching philosophy is being shaped during our learning process as future teachers. We want students not just to learn a different language, a second tongue, but we want them to think outside of the classroom, to use what they are learning outside of their immediate environment, and to be useful for their societies.
Sure, and we also invite you to join the hashtag delving into teaching philosophy to talk about how we can make bilingual education more engaging, interactive, and student centered.